Hello, I'm June Edwards, and this is Senior Topics for the third week of August. I have been having a lot of trouble today trying to uh, get my screen show, which I put together, my first PowerPoint to show, and I've also been knocked off the air several times. I'm going to try to share this with you. I may have to send you the screen show separately, but I did want to get the first part of the meeting to you, and hopefully I will not be knocked off the air this time. This is the third week of August, and during this third week, yesterday, the 16th, was National Joke Day. So I want to talk about that. In National Joke Day, there's all kinds of different jokes. And I have a couple more. I know I told you a few last week. Well, I have a couple more that I wanted to share with you. The church held a marriage seminar, and the priest asked Luigi, as his 50th wedding anniversary approached, to share some insight into how he managed to stay married to the same woman all these years. Luigi replied to his audience, "Well, I tried to treat her well and spend money on her. But the best thing I did was take her to Italy for our 20th anniversary." The priest replied, "Luigi, you are an inspiration to all husbands here today. Please tell the audience what you planned for your wife for your 50th anniversary." Luigi proudly replied, "I'm going to go back to Italy and pick her up." And that's the drum roll from Doc Severinsen's band in The Tonight Show, which they always had that drum roll at the end of a joke. Okay, you talked me into it. One more joke. A man is dining in a fancy restaurant, and there is a gorgeous redhead sitting at the next table. He's been checking her out since he sat down, but lacks the nerve to talk with her. Suddenly she sneezes, achoo, and her glass eye comes flying out of the socket towards the man. He reflectively reaches out, grabs it, hands it to her. "Oh my, I'm so sorry," she says as she pops her eye back into place. "Let me buy you dinner to make it up to you." They enjoy a wonderful dinner together, and afterwards they go to the theater, followed by drinks. They talk, they laugh. She shares her deepest dreams, and he shares his. She's a good listener. After paying for everything, she invites him over to her place for a nightcap. And the next morning, they have breakfast together. The guy is amazed. "Everything has been so incredible. You know," he said, "you are the perfect woman. Are you this nice to every man you meet?" "Oh no," she replies. "You just happen to catch my eye." All right, I hope I'm getting better at telling jokes online. I'm trying, guys, believe me. Another big event that's happening during the dog days of August, you know where that expression came from? The Greeks, because the dog star constellation, Sirius, which is part of Orion's constellation, appears between the beginning of July and the beginning of September. And they call it the dog days of summer because even Homer in the Iliad talked about how it's a portender of heat and sweats and fever, and dogs can go mad, and just all sorts of crazy things happen. Well, that kind of sounds like 2020 to me. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention that's happening in August is the Democratic Convention starts tonight, and that will go for 4 days. And it's mostly virtual this year, even though the convention hall is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I will speak mostly about how the Democratic Convention runs this week, and next week I will cover the Republican Convention since they are meeting next week. How do you become a delegate? If you're a member of the Democratic Party, Registered Democrats who want to be district level or at-large delegates must submit a pledge to their preferred candidate and submit that to the state party before April 13th. In May, each congressional district holds a caucus, and the Democrats in the district vote for the prospective delegates. The 317 district delegates in California and 30 district alternates are divvied up proportionately by how many votes each presidential candidate receives in the June 7th primary. And we had our primary in March, so of course the deadlines were pushed back this year. This year has been a little bit different in many regards. Now, the presidential candidate, he can pick some of the delegates himself. And also, there are super delegates, and they get 10 votes instead of 1 vote. I'm not sure how you become a super delegate, but I know that you have to be very involved in the party, as do the regular delegates. It also costs quite a bit of money. In 2016, the Democratic Party estimated a total cost of $4,750 based on a single occupancy hotel room, and it included travel to the convention site. And there's all other kinds of charges. Now, since it's virtual, a lot of the delegates will be home, but some of them will be at the convention hall. We'll have to watch tonight and see how it goes. Once they announce who the presidential candidate is, and for the Democrat Party, we know it's Joe Biden, and he just announced his running mate last week, Kamala Harris. Then they shower everybody with these balloons. And there are a lot of the excitement, and you do all this networking and contacts. It's like a big week-long party. So that's how you become a delegate. Just remember, you have to have influence, and you have to have lots of money. Now, before I try my slideshow, and I hope I don't get knocked off the air while we're doing this, I wanted to share with you some of the heroes of the COVID-19 who have great acts of kindness. First, I'm going to show you pictures of Terrence Lester and Lecrae Moore. Love Sinks In is the name of their mission, and let's hear about it. This comes from Reader's Digest this month, and the story was written by Jeremy Greenfield and Caroline Fanning and Kristen Warfield. When public health officials started telling Americans that hand washing is one of the most powerful weapons against the spread of the coronavirus, Terrence Lester wondered, what about the homeless? He had been homeless as a teenager, and today he runs a nonprofit in Atlanta called Love Beyond Walls that helps raise money for and awareness of homeless people. He knows all too well that even in the best of times, they are lucky to find a public bathroom that will let them in to wash up occasionally, not to mention several times a day. Lester's experience creating temporary shelters with his nonprofit led him to another idea, temporary hand washing stations, the kind that you would see at an outdoor music festival. He mentioned the idea to his friend, Lecrae Moore, a Grammy-winning Christian rapper who eagerly donated enough money to buy 15 of the washing sinks, which cost $150 a piece. They call their project Love Sinks In. Get it? Sinks? Yep, that's it. He said, if leaders in this country are asking people to wash their hands, we also have to provide the tools to people living on the margins of society who are more prone to catching and spreading the coronavirus. Well, after their success in Atlanta, the group sent sinks to Birmingham, Alabama, Oakland, California, Columbus, Ohio, and Austin, Texas. A partner organization installed the sinks in parks, and other public spaces thanks to a grant from Google. One Atlanta homeless man named Sam made sure to thank them. He left a note on a sink that read, "Thank you all for not forgetting about us." One more story about an act of kindness, a supreme act, a group called Teddy Bears to the Rescue. Some of the most dispiriting victims of the virus have been our nation's schools. Children are missing out on education, friendships, and recess. They're all put on hold with parents heroically trying to fill in the gaps. Math class in the kitchen was hard, but managing the downtime was harder as the weather has turned warmer and children everywhere hunger to be outside playing again. Enter the teddy bear hunt. One day, bears seemed to be hiding everywhere, staring out of windows in Iowa, tucked onto porches in Maine, propped behind the steering wheels of parked cars in California. Some teddy bears have even turned up in New Zealand. Of course, these toy bears cannot walk on their own. They get there with the help of people who hope that spotting a furry friend or two will entertain the neighborhood children. It has become a worldwide scavenger hunt. No one really knows where or how it started, though the 1989 children's book, "We're Going on a Bear Hunt," has clearly been an inspiration. Grateful parents don't care. They're just so happy to have this. To the parent, "Thank you," one mom tweeted. Explaining to a 4-year-old why play dates aren't allowed anymore is heartbreaking. So going on a bear hunt during our walks has definitely been the distraction we need. Next week, I would like to share more of our COVID-19 heroes who have really stepped up during this time of trauma and despair. I'm going to try now to go over to my show. I'm going to have to exit full screen and kind of talk to myself while I do this. Do you do that? Well, I'm doing it, that's for sure. Okay, I'm coming into PowerPoint. And we had left off on our Southwestern tour. And what I want to do is I'm in the slideshow and I want to go ahead and I'm going to start it. And I want to record it. Let's get into the slideshow. Okay, so we are recording. This is a look at the Mesa Verde National Park. It's located in the Four Corners area in Colorado. The park protects 600 cliff dwellings and more than 4,300 archaeological sites dating from 600 to 1300 AD. The Pueblo cliff dwellings are some of the best preserved and most notable in the United States. The best time to visit Mesa Verde National Park is during the summer and fall, but of course we're doing it as armchair travelers, and so we can visit it right now and not get too hot. The biggest attractions are the incredibly preserved cliff dwellings, which we can tour during a ranger-led hike. Tours include Cliff Palace, which is the largest cliff dwelling, Balcony House, and Long House. Not too strenuous for us, and the heat doesn't seem to bother us all that much. Next, we're going to cool off in the backcountry of Colorado at Breckenridge. What a view of the Rockies. And look at that high country. The altitude doesn't bother us today because we're armchair traveling. What a way to go. And it's free. This is the Garden of the Gods, one of my favorite Colorado attractions, and it's free entrance fee. The park is full of incredible red rock formations formed over years and years of erosion, leaving fascinating shapes and opportunities for hiking and rock climbing. The most popular area of the park is the Perkins Central Trail. Most of the area is paved and relatively flat, and it allows you to see features like this, the Kissing Camels, a rock formation that really does look like two camels getting together for a smooching session. Now it's off to the largest sand dunes in North America. The Great Sand Dunes National Park is one of 13 national parks in Colorado, located in the southern part of the state, about a 4-hour drive from Denver. These are the tallest sand dunes in North America, and the highest one is Star Dune, 755 feet high. In the backdrop, you can see the Sangre de Cristo mountain range. The combination of sand dunes and mountains is one of the most spectacular sights you'll see. Then we're off to tea in Manitou Springs, Colorado, at Marymount Castle. This place is often overlooked, but let me tell you about it. Marymount Castle was built in 1895 by French Catholic priest Jean-Baptiste Francolin. Visitors can tour the house and learn about the castle's importance in the Manitou Springs community and how the church across the street greatly shaped how the castle was perceived. It is a large stone mansion, rightfully called a castle, nestled in downtown Manitou Springs. The castle is surrounded by luscious gardens that separate the castle from the city's hustle and bustle and offers visitors like us a little escape. The main purpose of the castle is to incorporate nature through its large picturesque windows that look out on the Rocky Mountain vistas, to its warm-toned woods, regal artwork, and fabrics. A beautiful tradition is inviting us to enjoy an afternoon tea in the house's large dining room. Tea is held throughout the year, even in the winter season. Can you imagine? What a lovely idea. Then we're off to New Mexico. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is the largest annual balloon fiesta in the world, and it takes place each year in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Normally, it takes place over 10 days in October. I have not received word yet whether they will be holding it this year, but I certainly hope they'll be able to figure out a way to do it. During this time, visitors will have the opportunity to watch hundreds of colorful hot air balloons take to the skies. Each day of the festival, different events take place. The most popular are the morning mass ascensions, where hundreds of balloons go up within a couple of hours. Balloon glows are another popular event that take place in the evening, where hot air balloons are inflated and their burners are lit, but they stay on the ground. These are usually accompanied by a fireworks display or a light show. Other events at the festival include hot air balloon competitions, concert events, and chainsaw carving. Then we're off to the White Sands National Monument. You see the white car down there? It hardly sticks out from the white sands. Excuse me. If you find yourself near the U.S.-Mexican border, head to the White Sands National Monument in New Mexico. The White Sands National Monument and the military area around it form the largest gypsum sand dune in the world, with 275 square miles of dune fields. These dunes seem to appear out of nowhere when you approach from the south. You can explore the monument by car since most of the roads are paved, but get out now and again to hike some of the shorter trails. Just take plenty of water with you. It gets extremely hot in the dunes. Now we're going to go and look at the Chaco Cultural National Park. It's a UNESCO World Site and is one of the few international dark sky sites. Stands to reason because it sits in the middle of nowhere, far from any towns or inhabited area, on the Navajo Reservation at the end of a dirt road. To experience the darkest skies you can imagine, set up camp for a night in the Gallo Campground. You will not only see the Milky Way like never before, but you will camp by a cliff dwelling surrounded by petroglyphs in a high desert environment. You can also go to some of the big houses. One of them has over 650 rooms and 35 kivas or ovens that you can walk around. Imagine fighting each day to get a space in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. The last in our slideshow is looking for UFOs in Roswell, New Mexico. This city has claimed its alien reputation with a passion. Wandering downtown, you can be met by giant aliens at storefronts, aliens painted on the walls, even alien eyes on the streetlights. The biggest highlight is the International UFO Museum, a sizable building dedicated to not only documenting the crash of a UFO, but the alien and UFO phenomena in general. As an added bonus, the museum is dog friendly if you bring along your dogs. And a quick announcement that I read yesterday, that the Pentagon is reopening its UFO division because Air Force and Navy pilots have been having so many UFO sightings recently and taken video that cannot be disputed. So stay tuned for more on these coming up. So now what I want to do is get back into Zoom. Get me back up if I can. No, I don't know, it might not let me do it. Trying to get back out. And we're going to close the slideshow. There I am. I see me. I hope you can see me. I don't know exactly how to bring me back up into full screen. I hope you, oh, there it is. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this. And I just want to say that it's time to say goodbye. Stay as warm, not warm, but stay as cool as you can in the extreme heat. And I hope that you don't have to do too much recording on the internet and get bounced off. Bye, everybody. It's been so nice to see you. And I look forward to being together again as soon as possible. Have a good week.